You're watching ABC4 Utah. News at 10. Good for Utah.
When you think about firefighters, what comes to mind? Many of us imagine them bravely fighting the hot flames, the choking smoke to save homes and save lives. That certainly happens, but the reality these days is about 90% of 911 calls have nothing to do with fire. We wanted to see what it's like to always be ready to respond, so the ABC4 Special Projects team, including me, spent 24 hours with one of the busiest firehouses in Utah. We ran on calls with them, we ate with them, we spent the night at the station. Here's tonight's special Behind the Badge report, 24 hours with Station 41.
You having any pain right now anywhere?
Firefighter and paramedic Nate Smith assesses and treats a woman who fell and hit her face and head.
This is gonna sting.
It's a type of call that he and fellow firefighters from Station 41 in South Salt Lake handle every single day.
How's that feel? Any numbness or tingling anywhere?
It's not a life or death situation, but it requires a ride in an ambulance to the hospital.
And every call is different. Even the calls that are the same are different.
For Smith and the other firefighters, every call is a chance to serve.
There's a lot of calls we go on where they're maybe not emergent or there's not a lot for us to do. But those calls where we actually do intervene and we do provide care, I feel a sense of pride and accomplishment about being able to be there for that person.
But before they can respond to calls like this, the team begins each morning getting prepared.
Go through all of our medical gear.
578-935.
We go through all of our chainsaws, look at our hoses, make sure everything's good.
Do we have white toast?
This day, they actually had a chance to enjoy breakfast and each other's company before the calls began. First, a panic attack.
That might be a factor as well.
She's wanting to seek further care at the hospital on her own.
Then, a 911 call for chest pain.
I see your arm, man. We're going to take your blood pressure.
That was followed by a two-car accident just one block from the fire station. Firefighters say no matter what the call, they just try to help however they can.
I have always liked to help people. That is just something that's, I don't know where it came from, but it's just instilled in me, and I love to help people.
And that help would be needed 8 more times during our visit. There were a couple of psych calls.
Have you been taking them like you're supposed to?
Then medical calls.
The room is spinning, but you feel weak.
And there was an accident involving a handful of cars out on I-15. Battalion Chief Kent Robertson.
When we're out working on a call, somebody's having a really bad day.
And this time, that bad day is affecting a lot of people.
I'm sure a few of them are hurt. We're going to find out later.
Call after call, we watched a 6-man crew respond with speed and expertise. And in between calls, we learned doing this for a living can take its toll.
When I'm on the call, I have a job and I have a goal and I provide that care. It's not till we step away from that situation that we kind of look back and go, wow, that was pretty intense.
We also learned about how many horrible accidents and sad situations that they have to deal with.
What we see isn't necessarily something that anybody should see.
And we learned just how taxing it can be both mentally and emotionally.
There's becoming a lot more awareness about the mental health of first responders and that kind of secondary PTSD of constantly seeing traumatic events and dealing with people in their worst times and the emotional and having to kind of carry that along, with you.
So how do first responders cope with this? They say they each have their own way.
Sometimes I just go home and hug my kids, a little longer than normal, and sometimes I go straight to the gym and let off steam that way. Staying active, I think, helps.
The fire department is very aware. In fact, more and more efforts are being made to let firefighters know help is available. And it's something Chief Robertson watches carefully.
As soon as I know that something bad has happened, I'm at that station and we're talking about it and we're dealing with it as a group, and then I'll check with them on their days off.
While those issues are very real, when you watch these firefighters and medics in action, you don't hear complaining. You just hear how much they care.
Going on those calls, helping people, and feeling like you actually make a difference in somebody's life, I think that's one of the most rewarding things.
And you see how much they love their jobs.
I'll do it until the day I can't do it anymore.
Now, to hear more about these first responders or to ask some questions about this report, we're going to be live on the ABC4 Facebook page at about 10:35 after the newscast. And to nominate an officer or firefighter for a future story, or again see this story, go to goodforutah.com/badge.